Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy IV The Interlude. In the last part we started off this, and now we're back in Fabul since we needed to get Yang here ASAP. That's about the plot of the entire thing.
Bye, monks.
Hi, not king anymore. I do find it weird they still kept him as like a king sprite, despite the fact that he gave Yang the kingdom, I think at the end of 4. I don't think it's at the end of the Fabul section of the game, if I'm recalling correctly.
He was still listed as Duke in the speaking right there. So.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you could have at least made like a more regal-looking monk outfit for him then.
Yeah, I guess.
Mind you, it's like this entire interlude was probably made in about 3 or 4 weeks total. Because there are only, I think, 1 or 2 completely unique maps to the interlude, barring the changes to the world map, some of which you don't even interact with. Which means, more and large, this is mostly, I think, just the world map from the after years.
Yeah, it's fair.
Well, that said, I do at least appreciate the fact that they decided to give all the NPCs who had unique dialogue in the original 4 some still unique dialogue here.
Yeah.
I feel, like I said, I think I brought up at least last part, most of the efforts, I think, for the interlude were just to fix some writing things to better lead 4 into after years.
Yeah,
Gameplay balancing, less so.
What, you don't want to fight, level 1 enemies and everything? Or whatever the hell it was?
It's super low compared to my level. I think average party level is 30s right now.
I believe it was 30. I know I remember seeing that the 2 monks that you had with you were 30. So I would assume you are as well.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh god, Yang's wife! A baby? Oh, right. His wife was pregnant.
Yes, that's what all the monks were talking about.
Yeah. I do find it odd that I think the PSP version is the only version of the FF4 that, or at least it's the first version of 4 originals that name her Sheila, because even in DS she's called Yang's wife.
Huh.
I think it's only because she got a name in the after years because of this baby right here, honestly. Because Yang's got something special to ask us. He wants us to name her. No, you idiot. Cecil's an idiot. You want her to name things? Oh, but thou must. Damn it. Shit. All right, fine.
How many times can you say no, or does it just loop back through the thing?
It loops back. We're naming her Ursula. She is one of the playable party members in the after years. Her existence is the only reason Yang's wife got a name.
Fair.
And she's all right in after years. Isn't that nice? An airship? Why didn't we just... Oh, I know.
Harry the airship.
Patty the airship? Da-da-da-da-da. Why are the dwarves up here? Oh, Jesus Christ. Ah, the sealed cave's in trouble again, huh? What a surprise. An area where a crystal would be is having trouble.
That doesn't sound very Final Fantasy.
That's one thing I'll give the interlude. You're right from one event into the next. We're heading down to the underworld, but we're not taking everyone with us. Yang, since he just had a goddamn kid, we're forcing him to stay here. And if I'm recalling correctly, he's not the only one sticking behind. Rosa isn't looking too good. No.
No.
Stay here and rest. This totally isn't foreshadowing.
Totally not. I'm happy that it uses some kind of logic and say, hey, Yang, you stay behind, because you literally just had a kid.
Yeah, whereas certain games I've played, especially certain Tales of games, major character development happens where they should stay behind for a little bit, and they still go with you. Oh no, we lost my white mage.
The fact that engineer, white mage, none of those were capitalized bothers me.
Hey,
so much.
they're improper classes.
No, white mage is not an improper class. No, engineer can be whatever. No. That's not how that works.
With that said, as you might be able to tell by my inventory, I did loot every one of their shit before they left my party earlier this part. So the monks, Yang, and Rosa's stuff are all in my inventory. The only thing I could...
Those poor monks.
Yeah. The only thing I might recommend is keeping around certain accessories or the claws, because another party member that will join us later on, namely Edge, because he could do this in the original FF4, can use claws in the case you want to. The lack of music here irks me. I hate when games do this.
Lolly-ho.
Like, the dwarves aren't supposed to be some creepy beings outside of comprehension. I think. Okay, now you fly slowly over to the underworld. That means scene transition. Meanwhile, at Eblon. Actually, now I think about it, this is the first time we really get to see Eblon with any kind of population in it. And by that I mean 3 people.
I was gonna say 3.
Hey, yeah, I meant though. 2 of those are new sprites. At least I think so. I know the one on the right's a new sprite. The one on the left may have been in the original game. I don't think it was.
I don't know. I mean, looks fine.
Because the one on the right is definitely a character in After Years.
Uh-huh.
And that was all that scene transition was needed for. Why? Pacing.
It shows Edge.
But why would you want to see Edge?
Why not?
That's fair enough. And now we have one, yet again, another section. It's just, hey, go talk to everyone. Rydia and Edge never made it to Damsian? Yeah, I was mentioning that is kind of weird. Like, Rydia I can understand because she's still in the Feymark and all that. But come on, Edge. There's being fashionably late, and then there's being a dick. Down to hell. I'm at least glad they jump cut us over to the sealed cave. I would rather have controlled that, but they really want to limit you on where you can go. With that said, you can actually use this point as a point to grind in the case you feel you're underleveled for what's coming up ahead, as some of the dwarves here act not only as shops, but as an impromptu inn. And there is some shopping you might want to do here, be it the Flame Sword and Ice Brand, the Aura Staff, I especially recommend that. The Index Finger itself is just kind of funny. My big recommendation is the Flame Sword and the Ice Brand. You want one of each from memory, because then you can take care of any of those elemental weaknesses. Similarly, I recommend the Flame Mail or the Ice Mail, and then the opposite elemental shield, so you can be protected from both. At least I think that's how it works. Future me, is that how it works? Interesting.
Knowing you, probably not.
Now, the problem with this part of the game is, once again, we're just gonna be retreading ground we've done before. We're gonna be going through the sealed cave, and by and large, the enemies are the exact same. With that said, I will say this is definitely the hardest trip through the sealed cave you might ever take, as the enemies hit harder because you're so much lower leveled, and you don't have not only a better white mage at this point in the game, because I think at these levels Rosa's technically better, you're also lacking a third DPS. With that said, the path through is thankfully unchanged, so if you know the way through it the first time around, you can find your way around no problem. Still got new enemies, though. Quote-unquote new. Again, enemies are just being shown off for the sake of seeing how they're killed. The stats are the exact same as they were as in the original LP. I would understand it better, and I forget if we talked about this last part, if they at least weakened enemies to make things fly by faster, given this is meant to be a shorter scenario anyway.
Yeah.
But the fact that enemies are relatively unchanged, maybe just a fixed stat here or there to adjust better for the difficulty curve, is just strange to me. Like I've said, and I'll probably continue to say throughout the rest of this 2/3 of a video we have left, I think, and the next part, Interlude is very much an afterthought. It's kind of a shame, but I guess something in this collection had to be, with how much effort they put into 4, PSP, and after years. With that said, I can't help but wonder... Obviously, we now have ports of FF5 and 6 on Steam that are of similar, at least gameplay quality to this for 4. But if they had ever done PSP versions proper of 5 and 6, would they have done anything like this for those games to either bridge some plot elements? Jesus, Cecil. By the way, this is the one enemy I really should talk about. That's not the boss fight here.
Damn.
The trap door. 5,000 HP, 30,000 experience points, 4,500 gil. The big thing with this enemy, once again, any door in the sealed cave is one of these. And their only attacks are Target, 9th Dimension, and Transform. Target targets one player that they're going to hit with 9th Dimension, and 9th Dimension itself is a one-hit kill. So the way around that, just cast Reflect on whoever it's targeting, you'll kill the enemy in one shot. If it stands around too long...
Which didn't look like you did.
Yeah, no, I saw it auto battle on. Whoops. The enemies they can transform into are a Chimera Brain, Black Flan, and Yellow Dragon. I guess if I could go over those enemies in any regard, if it turns into a Chimera Brain, don't use any of the main 3 elements because it absorbs those. If it turns into a Black Flan, I think its defense is just super high, so stick with magic. And the Yellow Dragon absorbs lightning, and that's about it. Strangely enough, though, there are now a few dwarves placed throughout the area, and I don't think they do anything major, but they're there, at least. I would still recommend exploring the optional pathways, though, in order to grab some chests, because there's some decent items in here for equipment. Specifically those power armlets we've picked up a couple of so far.
And a bunch of Phoenix Downs that I'm seeing. That's not suspicious at all.
By and large, I used to think it wasn't, but as I've gotten older and more, I realize, oh, these are here for the boss fight, let alone the trapdoors. Because on a fresh run, this is arguably the most dangerous area in either Interlude or the original game, because a ton of enemies that can one-shot you and a boss that's basically a ticking time limit is a stressful thing.
Ticking time limit?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, yeah.
By and large, it could be the most dangerous area on a first run. There are probably harder enemies, but in terms of death counts, easily the highest. With that said, they do take one little bit of mercy. They now remove the demon wall, or the trap door, in front of the save point.
Oh, that's rude.
I'm kind of grateful. If anything, it shows that the dwarves have been doing something in here, at the least.
Yeah. No, it's just rude that existed at all. Like...
Oh, you should have seen it when our friend Alex, because you know how Alex was recently playing through 4 for the first time?
Yeah.
Watching him play through this dungeon. Oh boy, that was a trip.
Was it painful?
Oh yeah. He died a lot.
Yeah, I mean...
Still not as bad as his run-in with Ashura. Oh boy.
Wasn't that the one you asked me about real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
For context. For those who don't remember the Ashura fight in 4, she casts, I think, Kiraga, Protect, and one other ability on herself. So your first instinct would be to... Anthem, this is where you answer the question.
If you would say, cast Reflect on her...
You'd get it.
You would be correct.
Alex cast about every spell in Rosa's spell list before that. It was beautiful to watch, but I felt his misery. And you know what? As someone who was there himself, oh, so long ago when I first played FF4, I get it. I get it. 4, as much as I love this game, has some fights that are very rough on a first-timer.
Yeah.
Hell, we're coming up on one of them right now.
There's nothing wrong with the fight up ahead.
Not in 14, so far. We might get one that's bad soon. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the dungeon in 5.4.
Honestly, doubtful that we'll ever see it again.
Yeah, I guess it has been since Heaven's Word that model got used, I think.
I was gonna say, I think it's 7th.
Because guess what? The demon wall's back. Whoa! It's actually kind of sensible because it's a defense mechanism that's put back because the crystal's back in there, but oh well!
And speaking of the demon wall, 28,000 health. It rewards 23,000 gil, or 22,000 experience and 8,000 gil. No elemental weaknesses. And it drops a whole load of nothing.
Strategy for this is by and large the same as was in the original FF4. You're going to want to use Spider Silks and slow on it ASAP. Attack with Cecil and Sid. Faraga is what Palom should be using here because I think it just has the highest damage value for his intellect. Porum can by and large do whatever. If you have enough levels with her to get haste at this point, I would recommend putting that on her and then on everyone else. And then potentially berserking Sid and Cecil just to get the extra speed and damage out of that. But that's more so if you're a case of, do I want to be super aggressive or more conservative and just take care of things as they happen?
Or just slow the demon wall as well.
Yeah. I would also potentially recommend using Esuna on the gradual petrifies, but again, like I mentioned back in the main game, if memory serves, gradual petrify in FF4 is not a threat. For context, Anthem, the way this works, you slowly, over a period of time, turn into the Petrify status. It can also be inflicted by getting hit with the gradual Petrify status 3 times, and then you're just auto-petrified. I think the higher your stamina stat is, I want to say it was, the longer the timer, which means people like Cecil will be around here for a while, but mages might have some trouble there.
Yeah.
But at least in this version, the demon wall has so little HP, it doesn't really matter. Speaking of which, I should note in terms of a difference of the boss fight, I believe in the original FF4 as well, this thing had 23k EXP, 8k gil, and 28k HP. In fact,
and it is stamina, by the way.
Damn, I'm surprised I remember that well. Yeah, the attack stats identical, defense stats identical, magic. Magic defense is actually marked this time. No, actually, no, it's also the same. So yeah, if anything, this is just technically a harder party to just fight the boss with than anything. Thankfully, it's not FF4 3D where this thing has 100k.
Ugh.
That fight is nasty.
And there's the demon wall. Goodbye.
You know, that thing was a boss fight in Brutal Mario World.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it was basically an auto-scroller stage you had to run away from it from. It was rough.
Excuse me?
That ROM hack is impressive to me on a technical level because they get a lot of just weird boss fights running in there. Like Dr. Wily from Mega Man 7's in there. I think a dragon from one of the Shining Forces. Hey, Rydia.
Did he just get bitch slapped for saying that?
Yeah.
Nice. Which one of us is which there?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but why, Rydia, why weren't you at Damsian? Domitian, whatever it is. I forget how they pronounce it in 3D. Man, a lot of people just aren't looking too good. Now, Rydia joins our party, and if you check, I forget if I show this up now or later, if you take a look, she is noticeably missing a few spells. Yes, I do. She's got up to the level 2 elemental magic. No summons, weirdly enough, that's odd.
As a summoner.
She's probably just on vacation. Doesn't want to do that shit. You know what, I get it.
Summoner with no summons.
Now, here's the annoying thing, and this is why I'm reorganizing my party. Like in the original game, you need to walk back out of the entire dungeon. I think you can at least maybe use teleport or warp, depending on the version, to go floor by floor. But I had to walk all the way back out, which admittedly is good for my levels, but it's annoying. I've never liked that about this dungeon.
Did I ever tell you about the summoner that I dealt with in one of my leveling roulettes?
Nope.
That never summoned?
I know you told me about the one that only summons their fairy... Oh, wait, no, that was with Josh. That was with Josh, not with you. Then, yeah, no, I don't know.
No, that never had any summoned anything out. It was level 70 something place, so they would have had Bahamut. I think it is at 70 or Phoenix, one of the two. I think it's Bahamut. So they would have had Bahamut. They would have had one of the primal eggies. They would have had anything, and they just never did. I think they thought they were in like the floor 1 of Palace or something. I don't know, but.
Yeah. I love 14, but you run into some stupid people in there every now and then.
Yeah, like this one Dragoon that I played with.
Bitch, you better not.
They're based off of Toon Link.
For context, I don't think I've said this on a video yet. My 14 character's based off Toon Link. Because I'm an unoriginal shithead. Also, yeah, the Tower of Babel Shining, that's not good. That would be as if a meteor was in the head right above you and just went, hey, hi, I'm a fall now.
What's up?
We fall now?
I exist.
We fall now. I believe once we actively get in front of the Tower of Babel, you can still use the tower the ship as an inn and store in the case you want to grind around here. No real reason to. Meanwhile, with Edge, in one of the poorest transitions I've ever seen, also a little notable thing. You can now access the Eblon Cave from Eblon Castle. You no longer need the hovercraft to get here. I distinctly remember when I first played Interlude and I got to this section. I started laughing madly when it just cut to Edge randomly. Just because it's a matter of, wow, Edge, you're gonna matter in this story. But they really don't care how they make you matter. No drama, just, hey, I'm Edge.
Hey, I'm Edge. I exist for a while.
How you doing? I'm a king, sort of. How sad. Especially for being the original ninja class by and large. At least the original ninja character, rather. Because ninja was in FF1, it was the evolved thief, and in FF3, where it was the most damaging class in the damn game.
Yeah.
Also, one nice little detail I do like. All of the people in the Eblon Cave town have outright evacuated. Also, you might want to check some pots around here because you can find the Twin Stars. You know, that really good Palmporum exclusive equipment we got back in the post-game?
Huh.
Real weird to put that there, but you know what? If it makes this whole thing shorter, I don't mind.
That is fair. Ah, my favorite. Navigating through dark hallways like that.
Yeah. Pokemon fans' worst nightmare.
I love how you're just casually just one-shotting everything at this point.
Yeah, that's another reason I'm not going over the enemy notes for every single enemy, because more often than not, they just die in one hit anyway. What's the point? There's no strategy there.
Hey, there's this thing we saw in the first few hours of playing 4. Yeah, oh, they're dead. They had like 600 health.
And in a way, I almost do kind of appreciate the effort, because it's like, hey, the monsters are still around, but you have basically an endgame level party?
Yeah.
Just go kick some damn ass.
You picked up 2 Phoenix Downs in a chest next to each other. That's not suspicious.
And I do at least appreciate it from the angle of most RPG sequels, even if it's like an immediate sequel, like I think some of the Trails and the Sky games are supposed to be. I haven't played any of those. Myself just heard from our friend Death about them. You level back to like low levels, and I never like that. Kingdom Hearts is a case of that as well. There's not many others that are direct sequels. I guess Tales of Xillia and Tales of Xillia 2 with Jude and the others, at least.
What were you saying? That you leveled that back down or something?
Yeah, because you're back to starting levels for the start of a new game, which gameplay balance-wise makes sense, but
Yeah.
come on, we saved the world not even a year ago, guys.
Listen, they got lazy, okay?
Yeah, I guess. And right into the Tower of Babel like we were before. But with that, we're going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 3 of the interlude, we end the interlude. See you guys then.